chemistry students, I just wanted to put a little message out there to explain what we did in the chemistry lab for those of you that missed class. First, your density lab is due, the one where we took the spheres and put them in water and you found the density and decided what the material was. Either click submit on what you have written or get the paper to me in the top shelf in my room as soon as possible. That lab is due or was due today. But I want to explain the next lab that we're going to do. It is an at-home lab experiment, wonderful, fun, family fun experiment that you can do involving toothpaste. So if you were here, you got one of these little packs, and it has all the materials that you'll need to do a toothpaste investigation. If you weren't here, make sure you send someone to my room to get it. Next time you see me, you grab the pack, because you need to have this experiment, the physical hands-on part of the experiment, done by the next time you have lab, whenever that is. So make sure you get the materials so that you can do it. Let me explain what it is you're going to do. In the Google Classroom, you open up the toothpaste comparison. And the first thing you're going to need to do is take out the 3 types of toothpaste, Colgate and fluoride toothpaste, that's a convenient name, and your Fresh Mint. Take out your types of toothpaste, and I just want you to look at it, look at the ingredients and the labels, look at what the toothpaste looks like. Try to use some words that we use in class to describe the characteristics of the toothpaste. Use words like homogeneous, heterogeneous, elements, compounds, mixtures, some other properties that you might notice. So list as many of those as you can. And then what you're going to do is start asking questions. Maybe you notice one of them has fluoride and the other ones just have it as an ingredient. They don't actually have it on the label. Then you'd say, my obvious question would be, which one has more fluoride? Or do they have the same fluoride? Or what is fluoride? Or any of those types of questions. So you're going to just look at the properties that you come up with and then start to ask questions about the comparison of toothpaste. So you're going to pick one of the questions to actually study. You're only going to pick one actual lab to write up, but you're going to have to do experiments for all of the labs that people decided to do. So since you weren't in class, you didn't get to choose, so you're going to have to pick one of these as an option. But if you go to the Google Classroom and click on the data responses, you're going to fill out a Google form that answers those questions. And those questions are, how abrasive is the toothpaste? What is the foamability of the toothpaste? What is the pH of the toothpaste? And what is the fluoride content? So what we talked about was how to test those things. So you're going to pick one of those things that you're most curious about, but you're actually going to do the experiments for all of them and then put your data in the Google form. When you come back to class, next time everyone has lab, we're going to look at everybody's data for all of the experiments, but you're only going to use, let's say you decided to do fluoride, you're only going to use that data, but you're going to have a lot of data to analyze because every student is testing 3 or 4 different types of toothpaste, so you'll have lots of data to analyze. We'll talk about that next time you have lab. But for now, you need to get the materials so that you can test the abrasiveness, the foamability, the pH, and the fluoride level. Okay, so to test abrasiveness, that is how well it cleans something, how much grit it has. We discussed how you could do that. You could smear something on maybe a mirror and then use toothbrushes with different types of toothpaste to see how much it cleans. You could maybe convince one of your siblings, maybe one of your parents, to brush your teeth with it and just ask them how abrasive it is, how abrasive it feels, how good it is. You could brush your own teeth 3 or 4 times, maybe on 4 consecutive days. The idea is you need to compare which one is the most abrasive, which is the least. Maybe they're the same, then you would pick medium for all of them. So that's abrasiveness. To test foamability, you could, again, have your siblings, somebody you're babysitting, brush their teeth and just see how much foam it makes. You could take one of the test tubes, put some water in it, put a little dollop of toothpaste in it, and just shake it up. And as long as you shake up all of the samples the same, you could just compare their foamability and see which one's the best. You can come up with whatever procedure you want to test for foamability, but then just compare them to each other. The ones that are going to be standardized are the pH tests and the fluoride tests. In the packets, you will have gotten these little indicator strips, and a color-coded chart. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these test strips and a test tube, and you're going to fill with water, and you're going to put a little dollop of toothpaste in there. You're going to shake it up so that it dissolves, but then you have to let it sit for a while because you want the frothiness to decrease. You do have to have enough liquid in here so that you can submerge the entire, put it this way, so you can submerge the entire test strip. So make sure you can get it all in there. But you're only going to put it in for the count of 2. So you put it in, 1, 2, take it out, and then lay it flat on the table or on the sink or wherever you are. Wait 10-15 seconds until the reactions start to happen, and then you're going to compare it to your color-coded strip. So if you look at it, when I didn't put in any water at all, it matches right up there. So there is no, whatever the first one is, residual chlorine. If you look at the indicator, you can kind of match up with what color it is as far as the pH content. If you go down to the very bottom one, that's our fluoride content. So you can just match up the colors with whatever those are. We're going to be using these test strips for other experiments throughout the year, but this time we're just going to be comparing toothpaste. That being said, since we're only comparing toothpaste, but we're putting the toothpaste in water, we do need to know what your original starting pH was for water and the fluoride content for water. So the first experiment you should do is just take one of your test tubes, fill it with water, put your test strip in, see what those are. Write down those data for pH and for fluoride. And then you're going to test your toothpaste samples. Have fun doing the experiment. Again, what you need to have done by the next time you have lab is take a notice of all of the phenomenon, all of the properties of the toothpaste, come up with some questions that might be asked, pick one of the questions that you would like to investigate, and then you're going to do all 4 of those experiments: abrasiveness, foamability, pH, and fluoride, and you're going to put that data in the Google form that's in our Google Classroom. When you come to class, we'll talk about the data, we'll see what problems we had with it, we'll analyze everybody's data in a fun time together. Okay, sorry you missed lab, or if you needed this as a little bit of review, have fun experimenting. And bonus, if you take pictures of you doing the experiment, your family and friends doing the experiment, if you take your pictures of this, there's a little bonus extra credit to include in your lab report. Have a great day. Do some science.